Good morning, my trippy hippies. Good morning. It is Tammy coming to you live today from my office here in Farmville, Virginia. It is Sunday morning, which means it is time for a Sunday sermon, and I'm live today in a couple of places. And as you jump on here today, tell me hello and tell me where you're watching from. I'm live on my personal page. I'm live in the Hometown Hippie group, and I'm also live on the YouTube Community. And this is way more fun with friends. So as you jump on here, please say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and drop us a grateful fed in the comments. I always love it when we have more people here watching today. Good morning, Heather Johnson from Toledo, Ohio, who is just from Farmville, Virginia, who left today. She flew out this morning. Good morning from Burkeville, Virginia. Heather and Sarah are here this morning. Y'all tag a friend for me. Thank y'all for dropping all the things in the comments. Be like Heather. Be like Sarah. Tell us where you're watching from. Drop us a grateful fed in the comments. We appreciate y'all all so very much. It is Sunday. We do Sunday sermon. Sunday sermon is our weekly kind of live. I've not been live with y'all for a minute because I have been MIA. I had some things going on. I didn't do What's Up Wednesday. I didn't do Sunday sermon last Sunday. I was tired. I've taken some time off, and I needed it. And you might see some more time off coming up in the future. And that's all well and fine and beautiful, and that's what it will be. And I will be fine with that, and everybody will be fine with that. I'm not letting myself get stressed anymore, and I appreciate all of you for all of your kindness, your support, your words of encouragement, all of the things that you do whenever we are kind of out and about. When I was coming in this morning, if you've stuck around and been here for a while, you know Sunday sermon is our live weekly kind of motivational. We call it Sunday sermon because it's kind of like church for some of us. We always pull our weekly crystal affirmation card from our daily crystal deck, which I've already cracked open this morning because I was really kind of at a loss for what I wanted to talk about today. And I was like, I have kind of my brain is kind of fried right now. I told Heather last night I really enjoyed this weekend because it wasn't as busy as I had anticipated us being as far as the traffic goes. We were exactly as busy as we were supposed to be. We got lots of donations for faces. There was a lot of stuff going on this weekend. We totally understand that. But we did not have the numbers or the volume of people that I anticipated having through here this weekend. But we did have a very successful event because I always say that, it's about when we do the festivals and the events twice a year, they're always for the benefit of local charities. And I am going to say this, and I'm going to put this out there. I can't do it alone. So moving forward for 420 Fest, anything that we adopt for next year, the charity is going to have to be a part of the community. If the people in the charity can't be here to support their event, then I'm going to find a charity group because I need, for exchange of energy for me, I need the people involved and the recipient of the charity. I need them involved in the event as well. I can't do it alone. It takes a village. And I realized after this event, when I didn't see anybody from Faces here this weekend, that I am not going to do that again. I'm not going to partner without a partner. That's what I'm going to say. And I understand that people have things going on, whatever, but not to hear anything and not to hear a peep. I'm going to make the decision, and I hope that everyone from the Grateful Fed family can I get some thumbs up, some hearts, some O faces, that when we choose our charities for next year, we choose our philanthropic recipients for next year, we're going to choose someone who partners with our community a little bit more closely, maybe. I really thought that we were going to be able to adopt this group and pull them under our wing, and I'm going to have a conversation with them and let them know, like, hey, I really anticipated seeing someone from the organization here come out and kind of like, be a part of it. But a lot, it's what it is. We appreciate you, Denny. We understand that maybe you couldn't afford to drive out. We totally get that. Don't ever think that financial reasons you can't come sit out back and listen to some free music or whatever, because we always have lots of that stuff too. But it is what it is, right? We live and we learn and we move forward. And sometimes ego wants to grip onto things or whatever else. And I just said, this morning I woke up and I was like, last night I was kind of feeling, I went to bed, like Heather was staying at the house till about 10. We just hung out and chatted and, ordered some takeout and tried some sampler packs of some stuff. We got a lot of people coming by yesterday to get their grows tested for the best bud contest. And Doug Ladd, congratulations, you won the highest percentage test. And he donated his money back to the organization, which I thought was really nice. He donated that back to charity. After Heather left last night and was going back to the hotel to go get rested, I literally went straight. She wasn't even out of the driveway and the lights were cutting off, and I went straight to bed. And how many of you out there watching, and this is more fun. I didn't realize what the message is going to be today, and I was like, I told right before I came on here, I pulled the crystal cards out and I said, maybe I should pull a card to get my energy straight, because something just felt off. I said, maybe I should pull a card for me to give me some guidance on what I should talk about. And I didn't pull it. I was like, no. I was like, I'm going to wait and pull the card for the group. And then I just called my angels, guides, and helpers, a little prayer to God. I was like, hey, struggling this morning with finding words. So I'm a little late going live. And I was like, I don't know that I have a message today. I was like, I've had a little bit of a mess this week, and I know that we're working it into a message. And I came live the other night with understanding that you may not be able to see the way through, but you can see the next positive step. And that was the message in that moment. But this morning, coming here for this Sunday sermon today, I was a little bit like, do I not do Sunday sermon today? Because I'm kind of feeling like one of those weeks where I don't have, good morning. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm not sure that I had like a message today. I was like, I'm not sure I have a message today. And usually, God, source, universe, whatever word you use, tells me, good morning, happy birthday, Devin. Devin's watching from Chesterfield. It's her birthday today. If y'all could send her some birthday love. When that happens, sometimes I have been working on just knowing, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Sometimes you just say, hey, no sermon today, no message today, because it's not the right day to do it. I woke up today, and for some reason, my right knee is not wanting to work for me at all. Like I'm going to have to go get a bandage or some kind of something, because I'm struggling with being able to walk today. And I was like, maybe I just stay home today. Maybe I sit in my recliner. Maybe I don't do this today. And no one, I have the ability to set that boundary. But something was pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. It kept saying, no, you need the Sunday sermon. And I kept saying, okay, well, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to put my feet on the ground. I'm going to center my energy and anchor my energy and call in my guides and helpers and say, okay, well, I don't have a message, but maybe, a higher power does, and give me the message, or work through me for the message, or give me the message today. Because I feel like, whenever there is, when I lack and I don't have anything, like nothing comes in early, it's always either like, all right, well, I'm not going to have a message today, or it comes in when we're doing these, in the middle of us doing these. And interestingly enough, today's message is like, it's like, okay, I see you, message. I hear you. I understand now. And so bear with me as we, always interesting when my body hurts like this. It feels like the message kind of needs to come in and it fills me up, so that I can then pour it into each and every one of you. So I appreciate you all for jumping on this morning, for tuning in, for being patient, letting me talk around the fact to get to the fact. So this morning, like I said, I was, I went to bed directly after Heather left last night, and something was sitting uneasy with me, but I really did. I went to bed, and I may have also eaten an edible, because I needed to. And like I said, we sampled a whole bunch of sampler packs last night, sitting around chatting. And we were talking about, Heather was talking about setting boundaries. I was talking about, like learning how to, how every single one of us out there in the world right now, Every single person watching me right now, can I get a hallelujah amen when I say this? If you're watching it, I have 11 people that I'm showing watching. I'm expecting 11 messages on here, 11 comments here in a second. That you live in your own chaos. Like every single one of you have something going on in your life right now that is your, like, people on social media probably are not aware of. Can I get a hallelujah amen? Like, there's some things going on in your life right now that not everybody needs to know about. We all have our own personal um, things that we are working through, working with, that really is not something that we splatter all over the internet, or maybe don't even tell everybody in our life. Maybe, yes, see, I love that, right? Everybody has some things going on that are their things. And I am no different, right? I am no different. I am very much I'm very good morning, everybody. Good morning, y'all. Thanks so much. I'm glad y'all are there. That's awesome. Exactly. Right? We all have these things that kind of like sit and they simmer and they do their thing, and people don't know we're going through them. And this is the reminder, right? Yes. So I have, and here, uh, so Lisa, I'm getting her message up here. I don't know why the internet's being weird. It's not. So she says, I have fibromyalgia. The pain and fatigue is kicking my butt. It makes it hard to find my center. I went to yoga and my breathing is just not centered. And um, and then Heather says, the growth you helped me see in myself over the past year touched me to my core last night. And I want to go back to this one. I'm going to come back to Heather's in just a second. But I'm going to say this. Lisa, I agree with that. And it's something that I've been picking up as of late in the environment in the world, right? Good morning, everybody. We were just talking about you last night, Melanie. We missed your face. So many times we have this awakening. We have this spiritual awakening. We understand karma all of a sudden. We try to operate from a place of love and light. We start, operating under our 4 agreements. We always talk about, like, take nothing personally, always do your best, be impeccable with your language. And y'all, I know these, like, I know my name and my brain farts all the time. Be impeccable with your language. Don't take anything personally. Always do your best, and don't assume anything, right? Don't assume anything. So we live our lives by this, and then things like our autoimmune diseases kick in. Things like our things like things that are supposed to fall into place don't fall into place. We have unexpectedly have to move. We unexpectedly have an illness. We unexpectedly have a tire blowout on our car. Our health goes bad. We have a child that might need something that we didn't anticipate. The world the shit shows, right? As Heather says, my life is a shit show. But I'm learning to react. Exactly. So this is what the message today, right? And that was like the other day when I said, here's the deal, y'all. My shitty day kept going to shit, and the momentum of it just could not break free of it. And I was looking through a journal, and it was like, you have to take responsibility for your own suffering in your life. And if you are having, like I said, I've got to figure out, where am I at? Life does not stop because we are walking the spiritual path, or we are walking an enlightened path, or we are operating under the power of one. Life does the things that happen in life, like your credit card declining, or somebody hacking your account, or whatever the 1,000,001 crazy things that I can think of that have happened to me over the last year. Right? Watching my bank account get hacked while I'm like legitimately in my bank account while someone's hacking it. I'm on the phone and they're not stopping it. Things like my health, not being able to control that. And I stopped and I looked at it. I'm like, okay, can't control if my health goes bad, but what could I have controlled? I could have controlled the choices that I made. when they were saying you should probably get some rest, you should probably not burn yourself out, all the shoulda couldas, right? I heard. If I look at it, I'm like, you're right. I knew that that was not good for me. I knew that I needed to get rest. Those are life affirming choices that I could have made. Now, I don't sit there and go, well, woe is me. I could have done this. I should have done that. That is shoulding and coulding on yourself. Don't do that. But I take responsibility. You know what? Moving forward, I'm going to learn from that. And I'm not going to make my health any worse. I'm not going to make my tiredness any worse. I'm going to start making the million micro moves to see it better. Life doesn't change. What does change, what you have control over, is what Heather just said, right? She's learning to react. We have the only thing that we can control in this entire world is the way in which that we behave or we react to things. I can't change the fact that my tire went flat last week. I can't change the tire blowing up. I can't control that happening. There was a nail in the road. I didn't see it. It went on my tire. I was losing air. I couldn't control that from happening. No amount of me sitting in my office with my hands, palms up, calling in my angels, gods, and helpers, being centered, none of that changes that things happen in the world, like you run over a screw in your tire. It's not like because I start being kind, or I do the work, spiritual work, does my angels and guides and helpers now like fly in front of me like the star on Mario Kart and make me invincible from any kind of crap happening in the world? That's not why I'm doing it. That is not doing it because you want to grow as a person. That is doing it for something. Like, oh, that's kind of like the opposite of how it's supposed to work, right? I'm good, so I should get good. What you see is what you get, right? When you see good, you're going to receive good because that's what you're noticing. But what I'm saying is that you're still going to get a flat tire. You're still going to sometimes spend more money than you got. And that's a very good point. Sometimes you don't react. We just have to be until it's a better day, and then you can learn how to react. It's how the work that we're doing as far as the awakening and the shadow work we talk about and all these little things that we do, right? If we dwell in the negative, that's all we're going to see, and that's all we're going to attract. In this last week, I was only seeing the negative. That's all that I thought I had for days. And as soon as I was like, you know what am I, all I'm seeing is the negative. Let me stop and reframe, and I can change right now my perception of this. This didn't happen to me. This happened through me. What is the message in this mess? That is the reaction. That is the thing that we can control. How do you take this, what's happening, put your arms around it, and then move on, right? I tell people all the time, like, feel the feeling. When things go wrong initially, I'm like, right, damn it. All right, got that out. That's about 13 to 14 seconds, maybe 20 seconds of like, shit, right? The other day is a great example of that, what I was talking about. We had an event scheduled. Everything was scheduled exactly perfectly for this 12 to 6 kind of situation. And then at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, 12:30, they're like, hey, this event is like, we're the only things at this event. Like, there's tables, but there's nobody here. There's no other food truck. There's no students. There is like nothing happening. Like, why are we, like, what's going on? I find out, like, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, I thought our event was like, da 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 da. Like, why are we not, busy? And they're like, oh, it's 4 to 8. So I had staff there to cover an event before it was like started, and it was going to be done before it ended. And, I had a meltdown. I literally was like, I give up. I'm going to sell it all. I'm done. I literally had a complete and total utter meltdown. And in that moment, the only thing I could see is that I'm an utter failure. I cannot make good decisions. I've talked the worst to myself I've talked in weeks and months. I was just like, you are a dumbass, you stupid. I gave myself like a once up and down, like, this is all your fault. Why are you should even be doing this. You're not, if you should have better planning, what is wrong with you, Tammy? Your brain is not here. You're sick. This is killing you. And it's not, all it's doing is causing you. I mean, I went through, like, I had a complete and total meltdown. A complete and total meltdown over this. Now, at the end and now in the middle of all of this, my father has taken a tumble down his front steps and broken out through his gate and was hurting, right? I was like, I don't have anybody who can do this. Like, I need this money. Like, I need, like, and I started chasing money again, like freaking out over money again. And I said, you know what? Take a breath. I can't see the way through this right now, but I can see the next positive step. The next positive step was, okay, how do we regroup? How do we run this for the rest of the day? Do I get extra hands? Who do I need to cut? How do I make this work? We're making money. We're going to sell stuff. We're going to have an extra couple hours of sales. It'll be what it'll be. At the end of the day, we did more sales during the day. We would have done nothing had we only been there that evening. We would have had a ton of wasted food. We would have had, it would have been awful. Now, was that the case just in general, or was that because of the way that I saw it? Did my perception of that change? To somebody else say, oh, they just wasted a whole day. They moved, it really did. Like, I probably spent more money moving the trailer, running the generators, had to run 2 generators for this event, and not did I have to just run them for 4 hours. I had to run them for like 9 hours because I set up way different. I had refrigeration. I had to run those stuff. But I could have sat there and talked about how much. I mean, I was expecting like a couple $1,000s. We didn't even do $1,000. Like, I could have laid there and wallowed in it and been all off kilter. But I said, you know what? This momentum of this day, I need to stop. I need to break this cycle right in this moment. I need to take a deep breath. I need to give myself grace. I'm not okay. This kind of sucks, but there's a way around it. What is the next step? Okay, what do we have to do next? We can be there until 8. How do we cover it till 8? How do I make sure that if my dad can't pull everything, that I have somebody to bring the trailers back, to unhook everything, to plug everything back up? I just started working my steps, right? I started taking the next positive step, the next positive step, and the next positive step, and then the next positive step, and then the next positive step. And before you knew it, I was through that situation. Now, in that moment, I didn't know that I could get through it. I didn't know the way through it. I just knew what I needed to do next. So whatever is happening, right? Lisa, for example, she said she's struggling with fibromyalgia. It's kicking her butt. She can't get her breathing centered. She's tired, all of those things, right? You may not be able to see the way through that, but you may be able to see the next positive step. Maybe the next positive step is to take today to go get yourself connected to the planet, to get the electricity, more grounding, to help ground yourself to the actual physical earth, right? Maybe that's step 1. Maybe just be able to get your breath centered and grounded. I'm not saying it's going to make you not tired. It's not going to make you not hurt, but it's going to be the first thing, right? To get that centered and that breathing centered, right? Norman Jean cracks me up, y'all hear. I cannot control my menopausal flash rages, but I can remove myself from society until the rage passes so everyone, including myself, remains safe. That's working your steps, working your steps. It is the noticing of the out of alignment, though. That's number 1 step, right? Lisa said, I went to yoga. She took a next positive step. I can't get my breathing focused, right? She has to get her breathing centered. So it's just taking that next step to get that next thing done, right? It may not be that I have the ability to fix all the problems in the world, but I can see the next positive step. The next positive step. And Heather was saying up here, I want to talk about this for a second. We were talking last night, and it was interesting. She says that the growth that I helped her see over the past year, because a lot of us, Heather, Melanie Lewis, who else is in here that was there last time? Sarah Watts, is she still here? There's a bunch of you who joined us last year on our Woo Woo 101 Women's Spiritual Retreat in the Outer Banks. And we were there in the midst of healing and all of the things. This was what we were like dead in the middle of our retreat last year. And one of the things that, I was working with Heather with last year even was, so we were talking about a specific situation, and Heather and I was like, hey, a year ago, like you're dealing with his boundaries, you're doing all the things, you're interacting in the way that you want to, you've set your boundaries. I'm very proud of you. Last year, you didn't think people were going to be your friends if you set those boundaries. And now you're still hanging out with all those people. It's a much better relationship. You know that you can be their friends and all these different things. And the growth was astronomical, right? Oh, I love that, Melanie. I love that so much. Um, that's really good. And there's more of those coming up, hopefully in the next years or so. But Heather was talking about her growth, and I was like, you've grown so much, like in all of it. And I don't know if she realized it, but then when she was here, she hasn't been here since like April or May, or last time she was here. It's been months and months, and so much stuff has changed here. And I said, it's interesting because it's like I'm here every day. I see this building every day. I see the people that work here every day. I see um I see that I'm in it every day. I say, I don't see the changes. I don't see the growth like everyone who's like been away for a while and comes back and sees it. So not only did Heather, there's a reciprocation there, right? And I want you to understand, like, even though I may have pointed out your growth and made you understand it, I want you to know that you did the same for me. And I want to thank you for that. Like, because it's a two-way street with everybody. And I feel like a lot of you right now have those things in your life, those chaotic things in your life that, you are somebody's got some stuff in there that they're struggling with. And I saw y'all, amen, hallelujah, I do, right? Number one, I come here and I show my mess to the world a lot of times. This is how I kind of process y'all are my online like counselors. I mean, you know that, right? Like I utilize this as like a video journal. It's accountability for me. I feel like I very much enjoy interacting with each and every one of you. This channel means a lot to me. The groups mean a lot to me. So for me, you help motivate my personal growth because I know that you're watching, right? I know that you're here. I radio, a vlog or whatever this is called, live streaming, whatever, because it also helps me to be able to have some accountability. It helps me to be able to stay true to myself. So I want to thank you all for being here for me, and like whatever you're struggling with, know that I'm here for you, and that we appreciate you being here with us and sharing energy. But know that just like we talk about exchange of energy from a standpoint of, I do this for you, you do this for me. Know that if you are struggling, that the community is here to help out. So a lot of things we hold close to the chest because we're maybe embarrassed by it or ego has us concerned about it. It's not anybody else's job to pay for you. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like bring your monetary problems, because so many people kind of focus on a monetary problem, right? But I'm saying like if you need support and encouragement and maybe like bouncing or a sounding board to be able to figure out what the next best step is, right? And I get it. It's hard when you're in the moment. Like I've done it, and I know some of y'all have done it. A lot of us get on social media and we put it all out there in this way that is like, these motherfuckers this and this motherfucker, just these things, right? And then people don't want to help because they don't know how to help. And then if they do, like I've seen the post like, I need this and this and this and this, and then the people start going in on them like, maybe you should have done this or maybe you should have done that. And that's not what I'm talking about. I don't want to see that kind of animosity or that kind of hatred or that kind of stuff, because people have all got an opinion, and when you're in your moment, you're not going to hear a lot of like that. But it's like, I'm struggling today. I just need some positive encouragement. When I talk about testimonial Tuesdays, right? When I talk about us doing those, and I really want to see those again, I don't know that people are understanding my purpose and my meaning behind those. And when I talked about the beginning of this about partnering with like charities and groups that want to do the thing, here's what I'm saying. Our group mission is about the power of one. It's about every day you have the ability to go out and change the world for one person. You can't change the world, but we do it one person at a time. And every day when we go out and we help someone out in the world, we give our love out into the world, we paint the world, we raise the vibration. But it takes a community of working together and people encouraging and being in a community. And the reason for community is the building and the strength of it up. One person can't hold it on their shoulders. if I'm raising money for a local charity or somebody to help something, I anticipate everybody's, many hands make light work. And I have decided that even with this community, like the Testimonial Tuesdays, right? It's about telling your story so that the people out there who have a similar story can connect and relate, and then you can find, because in within these groups, everybody finds their tribe. There's a lot of people that hang out on tertiary groups over here that are not part of this group because they have a similar story. They relate to one another. Um, it's kind of like finding your favorite cousin at the family reunion. Like, you love everybody in the group, but you got your favorite cousins that you hang out with, like your table, right? So that's what Testimonial Tuesdays is about. It's about telling your story and about finding those people who have a similar story. Maybe your story is about being a mom of like grown children, and like you struggle with being able to be an empty nester. I know there's a lot of parents right now whose kids are finally kind of empty in the nest. They've people who are, really for the first time not having to be a mom and really struggling with finding the identity of who am I if I'm not a parent, right? Maybe it's a mom or a dad or whatever. Like, there's men and women in here. Um, and there's a lot of you out there who can maybe work together to like create a grown kids mom group, to find social activities and to do things that you would like to do because you have similar things together, right? Maybe there's some of you who are young moms, who are single moms. Maybe there's some of you are young parents. Maybe there's some of you who are menopausal ladies like me and Norma Jean, right? And who want to get together and make quilts. I'm not saying that Norma Jean or go ghost hunting, or she does paranormal, or go like fossil hunting and crystal seeking, or maybe it's people like Melody that want to go on spiritual retreats, but you want a traveling buddy or somebody to bounce things off of. The Testimonial Tuesdays are really about you all sharing your stories, where you're at in this world. And it's not always just about, oh, I found Tammy and the products are great. That's not what I'm talking about with Testimonial Tuesday. When I say share your story, I mean share your story. There might be somebody who's already like 10 miles past where you are in your mess right now, and they know that next positive step. They have a resource that they can give you because you shared where you're at in your journey. And I'm not saying that you have to come on here and be all this like very outright with, maybe you're not that person. And I get that. Not everybody wants that kind of interaction, but maybe you're somebody who, and there's a lot of you out there who like to keep it to yourself. But what I'm going to tell you is sharing is caring. And when you share things that you have been through that are now your message, like, what is your message, right? What is a message you've gotten through that you feel confident in, that you have a message about? That's what I'm looking for Testimonial Tuesdays, because it's about being able to connect and really start doing the work of the power of one. And when I say that some days that person has to be you, but I mean that this is the thing, right? And that's what I'm talking about, like the charities, all the things. You have to partner. You have to look at your own. You have to take responsibility for your own role in your suffering, your own role in your healing, your own role in all of it. And sometimes having people there with you help you. It makes it work better, right? If you share your story, somebody can come along. There's a lot of you that aren't able to share, but you can see that story, and then maybe you can private message that person and say, hey, I read your story, and I'm not real comfortable maybe sharing my stuff right here outright on Facebook, but for everybody. But here's my story to this person that you can have a conversation with. Or maybe saying, hey, here's my number. Could we talk because I have a similar story? Maybe we can work together. But it takes a partnership. It takes working together. It takes all of those things. Just like when you're raising money for a charity, or you're doing something for a group of people, it takes everyone, because many hands make light work. And if you're struggling and you're having a hard time lifting the weight of the world off of your shoulder, having a community to help lift, like, right, the Amish do the barn raisings. It's not one Amish guy out there with a rope. It's the entire community out there helping and lifting and finding the places in which they can lend a hand. And not everybody is pushing the wall up. Not everybody's pulling the wall up. Somebody is running behind with hammers and hammering them in place. Somebody is holding the nails. Somebody is making drinks for the people who are doing the heavy lifting. But what I'm saying is that in these times, the communities we talk about, we're building, I really, truly, one of my biggest goals is to create an intentional living community. where people have an ability to work together and live together in these untrying times. I'm trying to figure out how that looks, how the setup of all that works, right? And I see this. Heather's like, I'll be back on the 7th. I really want to see you folks. I don't just come to see Tammy, even though I enjoy that part too. I want to tell you all. Yes. And so it's about the community, and it's about everybody being a part of it, and not just because then people feel burnt out. People feel taken advantage of. People, they start feeling all those kinds of ways. And that's, everybody's like the big social experiment. And like, if people do the heavy lifting, other people won't work. And there's all this like, these conversations around people being this and people being, I'm like, it's not. It's people do exactly what they want to do. If something is important to you, you find time for it and you make time for it. So that's what I determined. I'm like, I'm not going to not be philanthropic. I'm still going to raise money for charities. However, I am going to require an equal exchange of energy. If you anticipate, if I volunteered to do that, nobody asked me to, I didn't tell them to show up, but I felt like there's an equal exchange of energy. There's an appreciation level. I will not work with organizations that I don't feel like appreciate or participate in it. And that's the same thing with folks, with people, right? There's a lot of people that I work with that, love the getting, but when it comes to the giving, they have they struggle with that. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to really stand firm on there's an equal exchange of energy. And you do, and I tell people all the time, like, you do, every single human person has the ability to choose what they want to do. And I am not forcing anybody's hand and choosing something different, right? It is, I can't change that. I cannot change that at all. What I can change is my ability to interact with it, right? That's again, we can't control the world. I can't control other people. What can we control? We can control our perception of it and how we interact with it. And if something is like, it's weighing on my heart, it's weighing on my heart all night and all day, that like, I am very shocked by it. I'm just shocked by it. And that's me. That's a personal thing for me. And so what do I have to do? I have to determine how I interact with it. I'm going to gift the donation, but moving forward, when I work with charities, what do I have to do? I have to have a conversation. I get so caught up in the busyness of it. When you know better, you do better. Maybe that conversation is had with the charities we're currently working with and saying, hey, and if they say, hey, we just don't have the capacity to do that, then I can make that decision whether or not I choose to interact energetically with that group again, right? But we could, and so this could have gone two ways. I could have been like salty and bitchy and gripey and posted a bunch of nonsense, or I can be perception of it as like, I didn't say that. I assumed, I took it personally, right? See how, and I'm coming with this for the real life example of mess and message and perception and chaos and things you're dealing with. Like, I felt some kind of way about it. Like last night, laying in bed, and my knees are like, I'm really like, I feel like I'm not being flexible. Maybe I don't know. I really felt some sort of way. I feel some kind of way about it. And I was like, I can be like negative about it. And then I'm going to see only negative. Or I can be positive and say, hey, I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to say, here's this thing. I'm very surprised this didn't happen. Did I not communicate the things well enough? Did something happen? Is there a reason? And I'm also no longer going to, and these groups have never said a thing to me about anything, but we are a good quality, moral, love and light organization. We encourage kindness. We don't lie. We don't cheat. We don't steal. We all go to work. We all pay our bill. We all do the things you're supposed to do in the world. We're not, those kind of people. And so I get really frustrated when there is this, oh, I love everything about y'all. However, I can't be associated with it because of your hometown hippie business. And I'm at the point now where it's all or none. We do not do anything that you should be working. We're not out here getting the town drunk. We are very much about healing and Reiki, and about painting the world with love and light, and helping people to feel better through plant-based medicine, through food magic, through kindness, and doing, better, you do better. It's kind of our mission statement. And I kind of get when I get in these moods, right? We all talk about like our chaos and all the things. We forget who we are. So like Lisa's talking about not being able to get her breathing centered, or Jenny says something, I don't know how to react sometimes, right? I'm going to tell you, there's a book that I read that's called the Big Leap, and it's about upper limiting yourself and how we kind of we cause a lot of our own chaos. And this week, when I looked back at like the chaos that was in my life, like the things that were like sticking, I could have 100% made those things not chaotic. My reaction to those things, my attitude towards those things, my reaction caused the chaos, 100%. I got mad because it wasn't being done the way I wanted it to be done, and I wanted to be more right. And I was like, you know what? That is it, right? We all try, like, wars are fought. I'm looking at Gaza. I'm looking at the world. I'm looking at people doing the craziest stuff around the world right now. And this book came into my mind. It was like, all these conflicts are because people want to be more right. When that's where the whole two things can be true came from. Because how we see the world is how we perceive the world. So whenever you're arguing with somebody, right? I was arguing with a vendor this week over something, and I didn't agree, right? It wasn't that wasn't a policy. I just didn't agree with the policy and didn't think it was a just and fair policy. So versus being like, okay, I didn't read the fine print when I got into this agreement. That is on me. I wanted to be more right and make them agree with me because it just made sense to me. And then I stopped and I'm like, you know what? Two things can be true. What I am saying is exactly right and how I anticipate doing business with someone. That's how I'm going to do business with someone. But this business is also a business of free will and contracts and everything else. And I don't own this business. I own this business. This is my business. This is the thing that I can control how it operates. This business over here, what can I control? Whether or not I interact with this business, whether or not I do business with this business, but I can't control how they run their business. And we get on these phones with these telemarketers or these people from there, whatever it is, right? And I try to convince them that they need to do business the way I do business. And that's just me trying to be more right. And that's not going to happen. You're right. You own that. You do with it as you please. My landlord, he can charge me the rent he wants to charge me. It's his house. What I can control is whether or not I pay that rent and whether or not I choose to. That's right for me. I can't change what they do. I can only change what I do. So if you're out there, that's the message today for a lot of you. Okay, for everybody watching today who needs to hear this, take what resonates with what we tell people, right? Take ownership of your chaos. Figure out what role you play in your chaos, right? You can't control what other people decide to do. And if you are trying to convince somebody that they need to do it your way or see it your way or whatever, I want you right now to full stop and say, you're right. I cannot control what you do in your life because you do not have control of that. Every single person in this world has autonomy they should have autonomy over what they choose to do with their body, their time, their energy, all of that. But you have to take ownership that you have that same autonomy and that same control. And when you're stressing and you're mad and you're bitching and you're griping, it's because you are not willing to do the work that you need to do, right? When I'm mad, because you might, I can't not see my mom. Yes, you can. You have the ability to set that boundary and say, if this is how I feel, and if it interferes with my energy, then I can choose my ability to exchange energy with you. I can't control what Red does, right? I can't control what my husband does. I can control how I interact with him. Like, you can do that 100%. I choose not to do that. And if I choose not to do that, I'm not going to be around that. That is the boundary that I set. for me. I can't set boundaries for other people. And that's what Heather and I are talking about, right? It's like, you can't change them. You can only change what you do. And then through your actions, you will see the perception and the change in your world that you need to see. You will 100% see that. When I tell the universe every day when I wake up, like, God, I feel awful, man, I'm tired, man, I'm getting old. That is me telling the universe exactly what I am. So I was like, this morning, and I got this really nice journal. It's at home. Actually, I think I might have that with me. From Heather for my birthday, because she comes bearing gifts, Heather always comes bearing gifts. I wish she would just bring herself. I hope she knows that is not a requirement to come, is to bring gifts. But Heather was going to be bearing gifts when she comes into town, like the freaking Easter Bunny or Santa Claus. And it was inhale the future and exhale the past. And it's a really much, she said, girl, you're getting back to basics, right? And I was like, okay. And this is just basically a little beautiful journal, like today's. It says the day of the week, like before you begin the day, set your intentions. Inspiring words for you today, things to let go of today. Today, I'm grateful for your mood for the day, your mantra. Today, I found just like the morning time and then the evening to kind of reflect on your day, to set your day up and then reflect on your day. And every day, it gives you the ability to set your day and reflect on your day. And whenever I got up today, I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not calling in. I was like, my knee hurts. I said, but I can feel my legs. I'm grateful for the ability to walk. Even though I'm limping, I'm walking. And I said, I'm just going to sing my little, every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. And I sang that little mantra to myself. And I kind of grabbed a couple parts. I'm not saying that I'm running around. I'm much like Lisa today. I am struggle busting a little bit, right? But I'm choosing to do it with a smile, to say, hey, it doesn't happen to me, it happens through me, not why me, why not me? I am stronger than this. I'm going to never let a stumble in the road be the end of my journey. And I'm going to make choices today to make myself feel better every day. If I'm super tired, I said today I'm not as rested as I'd like to be. I will find time today to rest my body in a highest and best way. And it is not saying that fixes everything. Those little things do not magic wand it away, does not make me any more centered sometimes, does not make my bank account any fatter sometimes, does not make the person that I'm not exchanging energy with doing the right thing immediately. But there are people who I've set the boundary, and I have said, this is you do exactly what you want to do. You have the ability. I do not agree with that. I do not align with that, is what I say. I don't align with that, but I can't change how you feel about that. So I want you to you do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing. I want you to eat just not at my table right now. We're gonna go our separate ways. And then months and months later, sometimes weeks later, sometimes years later, I have run back into that person or reconnected with that person, and they were like, had you not walked away from me or said I can't do that today, or you set that boundary, I would have never kind of seen the error of my ways, and I would have never had this happen, which means I would never had that happen, which doesn't mean I never did this, right? And one of the things I learned in one of my sessions recently, because I was like, I'm worried about this. She's like, you have to stop worrying about other adults. They have their own soul contracts, their own karmic lessons. And you need to do what you need to do that's the highest and best for you and your business. And then that's going to all be exactly what they need to do. That's their lesson. They have to learn it. You have to let people be adults. And if you're out there struggling with that today, I'm telling you, stop. Stop it, right? It's hard. Ego wants to convince us that people will not survive without us, that we have to do these things for people, that we're assholes if we don't, and we are not. We are not. Someone's like, why is this not doing this? I'm like, because you didn't do the thing you were supposed to do. Well, I didn't know. I'm like, that's no excuse. I'm no longer allowing adults to make excuses. You have the ability to know what's the right thing and the wrong thing to do. I am no longer going to let other smaller human people, maybe those young teenagers, those young adults. Oh, well, they're just 21. They don't know any better. You know what? They're going to learn. It's not our responsibility to take that lesson away from them. Maybe they learn at 21. They don't have to learn it at 30. right? You have to set those boundaries. You have to do what's right for you. You can't control them. Can't be mad at them. That's their walk. That's their karma. That's their soul's purpose, not yours. It sucks. It's hard. If they're meant to be in your life, they'll come back. They always do. They always do. I tell people all the time, it's so interesting, especially like, Red and I very much have different walks spiritually. Red is not going to sit there and, like he's not going to like call it source. He's going to call it Jesus and God. He's going to go to, he and I have different belief systems on a couple of things. He and I talk about it all the time. Like he believes, that might is right, like you have to defend, and he's a weapon carrying, like I'm not gonna be a victim. I'm like, I don't carry weapons, I can talk my way out of anything, I can paint the world, I have Reiki. He's like, Reiki does not shoot out your hands and get somebody off you better have a gun. I'm like, no, we have different views on things, right? And he will still say things, and I'm going to tell you all this, right? You have to, the way in which you change the world is by, when I say the power of one, and sometimes you have to sunshine and plant and give water to yourself, because sometimes our greatest weapon in this world is our example. Can I get a hallelujah, amen? How many times, how many people out there can say that the people that they really admire the most, the people that in your life, the people in my life that I've admired the most, has not been about anything special that they did, like no kind of accolades. It was just the solid example of how they lived their life. My Nanny Deskins, never in her million years was on the internet. Like never in a million years was on the internet. She never was any kind, she never drove a car. She never was on TV. She went to a one-room schoolroom in Appalachia. She was one of 16 kids. She's the most unassuming woman. You just a plain old Grandma Jane, never did anything fancy. I think she saw the ocean one time in her life because my mama took her, and she's like, never lost nothing there. I don't need to go there. That kind of thing. And the example and the way that she did for her family, and the way that she worked for her home, and the way that she kept things, and her attention, she was one of the people who I admire the most in this world. My mom was not someone who was, very assuming. She was a big personality. People love my mom, but it was more about who they were as human people that set the tone, and the messages and the seeds that they planted and the lessons that they taught me. My mom told me something when I was very small about, if you can't hear no, you'll never hear yes. I was afraid to ask a question, and she said to me, if you're afraid to ask the question, I said, why? She said, why are you afraid to ask? I said, because you might say no. She's like, so you're afraid to hear no? And I was like, well, yeah. She's like, what's going to change? Did you die? Right now, you can't do it because you didn't ask the question. She's like, if you are afraid of the word no, Tammy, you will never hear the word yes. Don't ever be afraid to ask the question. You're no worse off if you don't ask. Just ask the question. That made me highly successful at Pure Romance and multi-level marketing sales, because I was never afraid to ask, do you want a vibrator? Do you need some lube? Do you need this? Do you need some shave cream? Because the worst thing that you're going to say is no. And then we move on and we know you don't need it. Right? Okay, cool. Cool things can be true. I can have some cool stuff for you. You cannot want it, and that can be fine, right? But so many of us walk through this world holding on to those things. So I want you today to know the best way that you can get through this is to live your life being an example that you want to leave behind. I am not always love and light and like a unicorn and rainbow farts, right? All the things I always say. This week I struggled. My sister's like, if you yell at me one more time, she quit 3 times on me, right? She quit 3 times on me this week. She's like, I would rather be your sister than be your flunky and get yelled at like this. And I realized, and I told her in red, I was like, I am sorry. I was like, I said, I am afraid because my health is not good. I was stressing over my health. And I was like, I don't feel well. I was like, so I'm afraid things either come from love or fear. I'm operating from fear. I don't want my employees to feel that fear. And I know that you and Red are here and you're being me when I'm not here. So I take that out on the two of you. And she's like, you just need to tell me that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't use my big girl words. And I was like, I need you to understand that I am not mad at you. I am just in a bad place right now emotionally. And this is me venting. I'm not selling everything and getting rid of it all and just going to get a job for somebody would be so much easier than dealing with all of this and nobody appreciates anything. I was in one of those like woe is me places, and I got off the exit off of a Rainbow Road. I got off the exit and I was a mess. Um and But I'm we have to feel the feelings, right? Feel the feelings, feel the things, and then get yourself back in alignment and start making the micro moves. The noticing of the craziness was number one. I look at Melanie. See what Melanie's got up here today. I didn't see this. Sorry. We are on. I'm trying to get this to come up. We're on the same page today. You know that I worked very hard at the exact thing for a very long time. I finally made many of those things happen lately. I have firmly set my boundaries and enforced them for myself instead of worrying about my adult children and grandchildren. Can't make it without me because I've always done for them and I haven't let them completely fly on their own. I've stayed away and let them. Going back to work for the world. Oh, that's exciting. Starting a new job in the morning. That's exciting. I'm very excited for that, Melanie. That's really cool. And a lot of it is our gripping on to the things which makes us comfortable, right? For me, that's the pattern is like the woe is me, to figure it out, get out of it. And I was like, I'm not going to stay in this woe is me. I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm going to be fine. I'm like, I need to get some rest. I want to take some time. That's how do I feel better? Next positive step. Do what the doctor tells me to do. Drinking a lot more water, eating a lot more healthier. Right now I'm struggling with being able to move because my knees don't want to work, but that's been an ongoing trial, right? I needed your hug this week, and I needed yours, yeah, and I appreciate that. But it is about noticing, and next time I don't have to get off of the exit for so long. I just take the rest stop, right, and go to the bathroom, and then get back in the car and keep it moving. I'm not taking an exit, finding a Hotel 6, getting some food. I'm just going to keep it moving. This is what popped out today. Interesting. I don't think we've gotten this one before, and this is interesting because we were just talking about this yesterday. Because my son Evan had some earrings in, and we were trying to figure out what stone it was, and he said, "Are these malachite?" I was like, "No, I don't think it's malachite." And malachite just popped out for our crystal card of the week, and the malachite card says it's time to transform. Malachite, it's time to transform. And so our crystal message for today for our journaling is malachite. So if you have malachite, bring it into you this week. Use it close to help you find your message in your mess, to help you to recenter your energy, to help you to take control of your chaos and know that it's really time to get to the power of one and find your tribe. Because I'm telling you right now, if you can't help somebody else and you can't help yourself, somebody out there needs to help raise your vibration. Reach out to the group. I'm going to post some testimonial Tuesday telling my story, and if anybody that relates to that, and then if you guys can share yours as individual post on Tuesday. We just want the group to find like-minded individuals to help raise the vibration. The world is a mess right now, and we need to have love and light in it, and this is what Malachite's telling us today. It's time to transform. Get ready for a transformation. You have the inner strength, resolve, and conviction to transform your life for the better. You are capable of so much more than you know. You've come a long way. Don't stop now. Resist anything or anyone that might dissuade you, including any potential self-doubt. I mean, if this card is not today's card, y'all, I don't know what is. It's telling you the exact same thing that I did, right? Let go of that self-doubt. I was doing that stinking thinking this week. Stop it. And know that you've come a long way. I told Heather, like, Heather, you've come so far in a year. Sarah has come a ton of the year. Melanie Lewis, the fact that you almost didn't come to the retreat because of one of your daughters, and now you are a year later from that, standing and living in your best life and taking a job, knowing that they can deal with their own childcare and their own emergencies because they're grown. And I'm very proud of you. I'm not saying that you're not there for your kids. I'm not saying that you don't do the things, but I'm saying that you also matter, and that the power of one working on yourself is going to also be an example to your kids. And that's the thing, right? It's leading by that example. It's showing your kids that. And I used to say this all the time in Pure Romance, right? Self-care is not selfish. And that when you don't take care of yourself as a woman or as a man, you're teaching your children how they should treat themselves as adults. That they should be stressed over money, that they should be not taking care of their health, that they should put everybody before them, that they should do these things. So the example that you live by, like getting a job and saying, having boundaries, if you think that that's upsetting your kids or your little kids or your big kids or your friends or whatever, I am telling you, it is setting the example that you want your kids and things to follow in, because you want your kids to set boundaries with their kids and to be self-sufficient and self-aware, and they should love themselves and treat themselves like a priority. Well, if you want them to do that, don't do as you say, do as you do. So those examples, we talked about that with my grandparents, with all the people that are examples in your life. It's time to be, start showing them, walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So anybody out there struggling with transformation or feeling guilty about it, I want you to know that you are the example that you set is the best thing that you can do. Like Red said to me, got back to that. I would come back to that. He said, I may not always do what you say. He's like, because you always tell me what to do. Like, you should do this. You should. I was like, no, I shouldn't shit on you. I'm sorry. He says, no, he says, but I watch you and I see the things like when you like have a moment, you step outside and you go, or you don't speak out of anger, you stop and you like count to 10. He starts doing those things. So when you set that example, maybe the people in your life don't do it the moment you need them to, but I want you to watch and see if those seeds that you plant by your examples and your actions don't start manifesting in the people in your life that are meant to be in your life. The people that are going to stick with you, they're going to see those transformations and you're going to start seeing those in them, but it's going to be at their pace. You have to be okay with it being at their pace. So let's finish this card up. Okay. So you come a long way. Don't stop now. Resist anything or anyone that might dissuade you, including any potential self-doubt. You have the power to steer your destiny. Keep moving forward. The future you want for yourself. Keep moving towards the future you want for yourself. See your target and keep going until you reach it. Give yourself tough love and unfiltered advice you need to achieve all that you're capable of doing, right? Give yourself that tough love. I said it this week. I'm like, Tammy, you are being an asshole. You are yelling at people who care about you. Your team works hard for you. Stop seeing the negative. Stop operating from fear and stop being a bitch. That's exactly what I said to myself. I said, Tammy, stop it. Not today, Tammy, not today. And so I had to get my shit together. And my dad came to me and he pulled me aside. He's like, sweetheart, he said, you might not listen to a whole lot of things that I tell you. You don't have to listen to all of it. He says, but you got a good team. And when you get stressed and you get frustrated, you get sharp. And he said, you're sharp as sharp as your nice is. He said, so you got to watch that. You're going to piss people off and you're going to lose some good people. You're going to have drama that you don't want. I was like, you're right. You're right. You're right. Core questions this week from our crystal card. Are you who you want to be? What are your intentions for yourself? This is where the tough love gets into play because we're so easy to talk about other people, right? But turning that microscope inward, that's a lot, right? I love that so much. And I know you had that baby for a little while. Um, that is amazing. I love that. We're going to send lots of love out to her way. So are you who you want to be? What are your intentions for yourself? What are areas of your life are ripe for transformation? What areas of your life are ripe for transformation? So today was definitely this message, right? Where in your world today are you holding this stuff hostage? Where do you need to see a change in your life today? Right? Crystal action, your affirmations this week. I am committed to my transformation. I love that. I'm going to write that in my journal today. I am committed to my transformation. Today, take one action, no matter how small, that's in service of the goals you have for yourself. For yourself, not the goals you have for your children, not the goals that you have for your job, not the goals that you have for your partner, but the goals you have for yourself, right? The goals that I have for myself are very, very, very small. Personal goals is that I want to be um, pain free in the body that I'm in. I want to be healthy. I want to be rested, and I want to be in control, more in control of my sharpness and my tone. And and we all have personal goals. My goals are not your goals. Your goals are not my goals. But I'm telling you, somebody out there is striving for the same kind of thing. This week, we're going to share our Testimonial Tuesday. It's the last day of October. We're going to end October strong. You've got till October 31st to get your pre-orders in for your Advent calendars. I think we've sold like 10 already. So remember, there's only 100 of those left. So make sure that's the best price of the season at $150 a piece. They will go up on November 1st to back to $200. They are going to be the best gift of the season. We have a bunch of other things dropping on Black Friday. And if you get your order in October, you're going to save that $50. You're also going to get in to be our Big Sugar Skull Candy Rice Krispie chocolate covered skull that's going to be drawn for on What's Up Wednesday from everyone who placed an order in October. So every single order in October is going to go onto a prize wheel. We are going to spin it. So if you place 10 orders, you've got 10 spots on the prize wheel. And so we're going to give away, it's going to be a 2,100 milligram skull with the chocolate covered coating. So it's perfect to share with your friends, to have fun with. You probably could use that for a minute. So make sure only way to win that is to get an order in for October. So get your orders in. I am going to be updating the site. We do have the things that are out of stock back in stock, some things. That's where we're at today. We're right at 106. I'm going to get off of here. I got to place my food order for the week. I got to make a plan for the schedule. I got to make a plan for all of the things we got going on. I will be back live on What's Up Wednesday. We have Halloween boo bags here for the Grateful Fed. $5 for the kids, either a hot dog or a grilled cheese with a bag of chips, as well as a cake pop. So we hope that you'll come out and see us on Halloween. The truck will be open Halloween till late. We're gonna get the kids in to get them a chance to have some fun Halloween stuff. We got stew for the faces. This is still going on. That's gonna be Tuesday. We've got rain checks. You can still purchase stew on the website, and we have shepherd's pie for Wednesday night take-home meals. All those things going on everywhere in the world. I just wanted to give you little updates on that stuff. I want to thank you all for watching and tuning in today. And I'm glad I came live today, even though I was almost this close to just being like, I don't have it in me. Sports was like, nope, get up and go. I need you to go do that today. I'm glad I did. Don't forget Malachite, affirm, I am going to transform. I can't remember what it said exactly. Let me get in here, our affirmation this week. I am committed to my transformation, right? I'm committed to my transformation. I hope that you are. I love each and every one of you. And as Heather just said, I'm going to put her comment up there because that's perfect to end the live today. Let's see here with a little peace, a little love, and a little feast. And as always, y'all stay elevated. I'm Tammy, and I'll see you next time.